Welcome everyone, another musical night, of course, with the Sahaja Yoga meditation. And thank you for waiting. I really wanted to share this video with you all. This is such a beautiful, such a joy-giving one of the gathering with Mataji, and I really wanted to share with you all. Hope you all enjoy it. And it was long time ago, early 80s with Mataji. So again, welcome, and once again, we are together to integrate whole world and make one with the universal culture and the universal knowledge, and of course with the music, and to integrate everyone with the divine love and with Sahaja Yoga. So that is actually big pleasure for everyone, for all of us, to introduce many different Sahajogis from different corner of the world. And today we will have another two brothers, two Sahajogi brothers who are joining from India. So, of course, one is long time ago, exactly 3 months ago, who joined in our program, Pradyoth Verma. So he will be helping for us within the meditation, also with his music. Many of you remember him when you see him. Of course, with by name also you will remember him, Pradyoth Bhaiya. So he will be helping for us today with in our meditation with his beautiful ragas, with the stotram actually, and then he will sing some bhajan. But another yogi brother who is actually came from Brazil to India. Right now he's visiting India, his family, and so he has lots of beautiful experience with Mataji and wonderful memories with Mataji. He will be sharing his Sahaj journeys, and his name is Prasad Rao, and he started Sahaj Yoga in 1986. So I'm very excited. We are very excited to invite both these brothers to today's in our program. And I would like to welcome Pradyoth Bhaiya and Prasad Bhaiya. Good morning, and Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, your voice is coming so perfect, wonderful. Good morning, and how are you, Pradyoth Bhaiya?
I'm fine.
Very nice. So nice to see you again. After 3 months, exactly 3 months. So you join us. I look at my calendar, January 26th. So exactly 3 months. So it's nice to have you again. So
thank you so much.
And whenever you are ready, we can start for the meditation, Pradyoth Bhaiya.
Prasad Bhaiya has also joined.
Yes, Prasad Bhaiya, please. Could you please show your face? Oh, you are there. Okay. Welcome to our program. Good morning, Jai Shri Mataji. And we are very
Good evening to you all.
Please go ahead. Yeah. Prasad Bhaiya, you were saying something. I'm sorry I cut you.
No, I was only saying good evening to you all, and very nice to be with all of you. Really looking forward to this meeting.
Thank you so much. Please stay with us. And first we will start for the meditation. And then after that, we love to hear your old Sahaja experience, wonderful stories with Shri Mataji. And now we will hand over to Pradyoth Bhaiya for the meditation.
Thank you so much. Okay. So now let us all raise our Kundalini and put Bandhan. Let us put both the hands in front and let us feel the beautiful flow of the vibrations which are flowing from the photograph of Sri Mataji. So when we start the meditation, it's always good to see the vibrations. What is the flow of the energy which is flowing? What is the state of our chakras and nadis, of our mental, emotional, physical state? Because as we progress in the meditation, there will be a change in the whole flow. And that gives us tremendous amount of faith, confidence on ourselves as well as on Sri Mataji, that how beautifully this works. We will start by saying the three Maha Mantras. We will say the three Maha Mantras. We will not sing it like how we did last time. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrar Swamini Moksha Pradayani Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha Shri Ganesha Mantra Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha Let us keep the right hand on Mother Earth or pointed towards the Mother Earth, left hand towards the lap, in front of Shri Mataji's photograph, fingers a little open. By this gesture, our Ida Nadi comes into balance. Our emotional side, the desire, gets awakened. So let us just feel the flow of the energy. Is it increasing? Both on the left hand as well as on the right hand. What's important is how we feel in the heart and not the words that we say or the prayers that we say, but the feeling. Why are we doing this? So that the pure desire is awakened. Now let us keep the right hand on the lap, left hand towards the sky. By this we balance the nadis on the right side, the Pingala nadi, and also all the chakras which are imbalanced on the right side get balanced. And all the heat which is there goes into the sky. Let us watch ourselves from within and see that there will be a difference. There's a change in the state of our mental, emotional, and physical being. We feel a little more comfortable, a little more relaxed. And of course, we also feel the flow of the energy, which just flows beautifully. Let us keep both the hands on the lap. Let us keep the right hand on the left heart, because Sahaja Yoga works through the opening of the heart and not more of understanding. But how do we feel in the heart? Because the Atma, our real self, which is beating there in the heart, is the witness which is seeing everything. And we are able to feel that vibrations coming from the Atma only if we are able to open our hearts. So let us pray that Mother, let us be able to feel the Atma, the joy of the Atma. And the moment the heart opens, the last chakra, which is the Sahasrara on the head, it opens, and then we are able to feel this flow much better. Let us keep both the hands on the lap. Now I will sing a stotram, which is from a great saint called Shankaracharya. And this is again a very beautiful hymn which he wrote about how important it is that we worship from our heart. It's called as a Shiva Manasa Puja, the puja of the Atma, the Shiva, who is the only witness, who is the Father, who is Allah, who is Jehovah. And how do we do a puja to him? How do we offer our humble thank you? He has written a beautiful hymn. It's called Shiva Manasa Puja. It's set in Rag Bibhas. And I will share the lyrics and the meaning on the screen. I hope you are all able to see it so that we understand what we are singing, and then we will meditate for what? 2-3 minutes. Sada Shiva, Sada Shiva, Sada Shiva, Sada Shiva, Sada Sada Shiva, Sada रत्ने कल्पितमासनं हिमजलस्थानं च दिव्याभरणं मृगमदान्मोदान् कीतं चन्दनं जाति चम्पकबिल्वपत्ररचितं धूपं तथा दीपं देवदयानिधे पशुपते कल्पितगृहत्ना सदाशिव 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 नमोऽस्तु ते सदाशिव 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 नमोऽस्तु ते सारे गरे ग प प ध साध सारे सारे गरे ग प प ध साध सारे सा सारे सा सारे सा सौवर्ण नवरत्न खण्डरचिते पात्रे घृतं पायसं भक्ष्यं पञ्चविधं पयोदधियुतं रम्भाफलं पाणकं शाकनमयुतं जलं रुचिकरं कर्पूरगण्डोज्ज्वलं ताम्बूलं मनसामया विरचितं भक्तो प्रभो स्वीकुरु सदाशिव 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 नमोऽस्तु ते सारे गरे ग प प ध साध सारे सारे गरे ग प प ध साध सारे सा सारे सा सारे सा छत्रं चार्मरयोर्योगं व्यज यकं चार्दशकं निर्मलं वीणाभेदि मृदङ्गकाहल कलागीतं च नृत्यं तथा साष्टाङ्गं प्रणति स्मृतिर्बहु विद्या एतत्समस्तं मया सङ्कल्पेन समर्पितं विभो पूजा गृहान् प्रभु सदाशिव 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 नमोऽस्तु ते साग मध मध द सा ग सा द सा सा ग सा द सा सा ग सा द सा सा आत्मातं गिरिजामति सहचर प्राणः शरीरं गृहं पूजा ते विषयोगभोग रचना निद्रा समाधिस्थिति सञ्चार पदयो प्रदक्षिणविधि स्तोत्राणि सर्वागिरो यद्यत् कर्म करोमि तदखिलं शम्भो तवाराधनं सदाशिव 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 नमोऽस्तु ते सदा शिव सदा शिव सदा शिव नमोस्तुते सारे गरे ग प प द साध सारे सारे गरे ग प प द साध सारे सा सारे सा सारे ग करचरणं कृतं वा कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनं वजं वा मानसं वा अपराधं विहितं वा सर्वमेतत् क्षमस्व जय जय करुणाब्धे श्रीमहादेव 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 शम्भो 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 Let us just keep attention on the Sahasrara on the top of the head. Open our hands and just feel. What are we feeling? Is there a peace? Is there a quietness? Do we feel the joy? Let us thank Shrimataji for giving us this beautiful experience, meditation, and also giving us the joy, the experience of the joy. Now I'll request Prasad Anna and Shanai to take it ahead. Jai Shrimataji.
Ishmataji, Pradyoth Bhaiya. It was wonderful meditation. It was really so peaceful and so joyful. We really felt, I really felt such a joy and silence in my heart. Thank you so much. And of course, lots of vibrations. Beautiful. It was hard to open my eyes as usual, but of course it was just bliss. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, Prasad Bhaiya, I would like to introduce you to everyone. Welcome again to our program. It's really a pleasure
Thank
to
you
have
very
you here.
Thank you very much. I personally think it's a shame to have stop this meditation. It was so beautiful. I was really hoping it would continue for a much longer time. Thank you so much.
So nice. Yes, it was hard to open our eyes, isn't it? We didn't want to finish the meditation. So hopefully when the time comes again, we can come together to continue for another time. So of course it was still short today. Anyway, so Prasad Bhaiya, we would like to hear from you. When did you start Sahaja Yoga, or what seeking? Were you a seeker during those years when you started Sahaja Yoga?
I don't know if I was a seeker as such, because I came to Sahaja Yoga in 1986. I was about 28 at the time. And before that, most of my life was filled with going to college. I had the opportunity to go to some of the top colleges in India. And all my attention was only on career and jobs and things like that. And then suddenly one day I saw in the papers that there was going to be a program of Sri Mataji, and that she was going to grant us the experience of self-realization. Now, this was the first time that I had heard anyone in India offering this, like so easily. So I thought it'd be interesting. And my brother and myself, we went along to this program of Sri Mataji in Kolkata in 1986 on 2nd of April. And it was a 3-day program. And Sri Mataji gave us a realization. And then she asked us, like she always did, to raise our hands if we felt a cool breeze or a hot breeze or any tingling on our fingertips. And I think the entire auditorium, about 998 people, there were 1,000 people over there. 998 people must have raised their hands, except my brother and myself. Would you believe it? We were not sure if what we were feeling on our hands was the cool breeze or if it was the effect of the air conditioning in the auditorium. But we felt that everything that Sri Mataji said was so coherent, so perfect, so reasonable. We thought that there must be something happening. And if we did not feel it, possibly the defect was with us. Maybe our instrument was not perfectly in order. Because in India, we always believe that self-realization or Atma Sakshatkar is a process that requires decades and decades of tapasya or penitence and self-purification and so on. You need to get absolute control over your body, mind, senses, thoughts, emotions, feelings, and everything. And only then, maybe, if you meet a guru who's capable of granting you this, that you would get your self-realization. So we thought it's really a very long, drawn-out process. And if my brother and I did not feel it immediately, maybe the mistake was with us and not so much with Sahaja. So then right after the program, there was going to be a 7-day workshop, and Sahajogis from Mumbai and Delhi had come over to Kolkata, and they were telling us every day about each chakra and the ways to cleanse and balance these chakras. So as they told us the qualities, the mantras, the affirmations and everything, a thought went through my mind. I asked them, so Sahaja Yoga is like praying to God? They said, yes. So I thought, well, then you cannot lose practicing Sahaja Yoga, because after all, you're praying to God. At most, you might even meet God. Who knows? So then we decided to continue with the practice, and we started going on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays to the weekly meeting. And as we started meditating and as we started practicing all the different cleansing techniques that were taught to us, we started to feel the vibrations first on right hand and left hand, and started to get so many different experiences. So then this kind of confirmed to us that yes, this truly works. And Sahaja Yoga is really the way. Before that, yes, we did practice other kinds of meditations and yoga practices and all that, both my brother and myself, but including my father as well. But then, having come to Sahaja Yoga, we kind of felt that this indeed is the true way. So we gave up all our other practices. And then later on, our father also, he saw these two young boys who were never so interested in things like meditation and all that, going so regularly to practice Sahaja Yoga. And then he also started coming about 3 months later. So that's how slowly over time, our entire family started practicing Sahaja Yoga. So that's from 1986 onwards.
How old were you, Prasad, by that time, you and your brother?
Well, I was 28 and he was a year young.
Yes, yes, okay. So then over the years, I mean, over the weeks maybe, or over the months, when do you think so you start to feel the vibrations? What do you think so? How did you feel the vibrations? You stop thinking, or you start to meditate regularly? What was that?
Well, we were meditating every day, right after the self-realization program with Shri Mataji and the 7-day workshop. We started practicing every single day,
Mhm.
not missing even one collective meeting day, and doing the practices that were recommended to us, namely foot soaking and also candle treatments, etc. So I think the foot soaking really helped clear my right side, because that was the side that I first started feeling vibrations in. And then afterwards, when we started the candle treatment, the first time my father worked on me behind me with the candle, I could really feel the chakras going around in my body. So strong, so powerful was the experience. And soon after that, maybe about 2 or 3 months later, I started feeling on my left hand as well. And over time, slowly different experiences started coming. And then very soon I realized that this thing of self-realization, which is considered to be one of the most difficult things to achieve in India, uh, was being granted to us so easily by Sri Mataji, and to tens of thousands at a single time. So we slowly started to appreciate the fact that Sri Mataji was someone really very, very special. And the day it dawned upon me as to who Sri Mataji could be, like that she is the source of the power of this Kundalini that resides in all of us, which is why this awakening happens so easily. That was the happiest day in my life. I mean, for about a week or so, I was just walking through the streets of Kolkata with my head in the clouds. I was happy beyond belief. Because as a child, whenever you read these stories of great incarnations and all that, and prophets and so on, you keep wishing in your mind, if only you were alive at the same time as those incarnations. And suddenly I felt that this good fortune is really upon me, that I am really alive at the same time as Sri Mataji, and this tremendous happening that's taking place in this world. I really felt like I was participating in the making of history.
Wow.
It was,
Wow.
it was really the happiest moment of my life.
Yes, we can still feel your joy in your face, Prasad Bhaiya. I really can feel it. That's wonderful. That's beautiful. So nice to hear. And then I know that, of course, you have so many stories, but how we should start? I know you have been in Australia and then after that, Brazil. And how did you end up going over those places?
Well, after Kolkata, I got a new job, and then it made me move over from Kolkata to Nagpur. So those of you who might have read of Srimataji's life know that Srimati spent her childhood in Nagpur. So I was so happy when I was able to make the move to Nagpur. Now, what was happening in Kolkata is, I, though I was practicing Sahaja Yoga, I still had my circle of friends around me, my classmates from college and other friends, who would tell me, Prasad, you're too young to be doing this meditation. this is to be done like after retirement, like give up all this and come back to us. So it was always a tug of war, in my mind, how to keep everything pleased, everything going on at the same time. But then when I moved over from Kolkata to Nagpur, so that is when my focus was like 100% on my meditation and growth. And all my circle of friends were mostly people who were practicing Sahaja. So then I did not have to fight this battle, with my friends pulling me in another direction. So there I was also very fortunate to meet Baba Mama, who is the brother of Sri Mataji, and who was, well, they both passed away. And then he would take us around to all the different places where they had lived as in their childhood, the school where Sri Mataji studied, and then the gate of the school where Sri Mataji had protested against, the British rule and so on, and the hospital, the house where Sri Mataji was born. So it was a wonderful period that I had in Nagpur from 88 until 1990. So around 1990, Sri Mataji asked me to go to Australia. So that's how I made the move to Australia, where I spent 6 months in Melbourne and then the following 2.5 years in Sydney. After that, Sri Mataji, she recommended that I move to Brazil. So where I lived from 1993 until the present moment. So that's close to about 27, 28 years now that I've been living in Brazil. And it's been a wonderful period for me participating various happenings of Sahaja Yoga in these countries and also around the world. And like I mentioned, watching history being made. If you have the inclination, I would like to share some stories with you of different things that happened in Australia and also Brazil and Europe. Let's start with Kolkata. This happened in the very year that I got my realization, 1986, April. And then Sri Mataji, she happened to come once again in the same year to Kolkata. And we were going with Sri Mataji on a small ship on the Ganga River. And on the boat, it was only about 30 of us, yogis. And there was also one gentleman who brought his young daughter, she might have been about 9 or 10 years old at the time, who was deaf and mute, dumb at the same time. So this father brought his daughter to Sri Mataji. So Sri Mataji brought the child near her, and into her ear she said the mantra of Sri Vishnu Maya. And when we say the mantra, Om Tvameva Sakshat. Sri Mataji, you are herself Sri Vishnu Maya. And when Sri Mataji says the mantra, she says the mantra, Aham Sakshat Sri Vishnu Maya. I am in reality Sri Vishnu Maya. So she said this a few times, and before our very eyes, we could see this girl starting to hear, and her very first words were Jai Sri Mataji. And everyone, of course, she said it with difficulty because she didn't know really how to speak and all that. And we saw this miracle happening in front of our very eyes.
Wow.
That was really amazing.
Oh my goodness, so beautiful.
There's also another story that happened in the same year, in October again, 1986. I, along with a few other Yogis, about 15 or 20 of us, we happened to go to the flat apartment where Sri Mataji was staying. She was staying in the apartment of the leader of Sahaja Yoga at the time in Kolkata, Mr. and Mrs. Jalan. Incidentally, their daughter, she lives in the US, Shruti, maybe Srivastava, I think, possibly in New Jersey or somewhere on the East Coast, married to Amit Srivastava. So there were only about the family of the Jalans, 4 of them, Sri Mataji, and maybe another couple of people, about 7 or 8 of them, staying in the apartment at the same time. All right. So Mrs. Jalan had cooked enough food for them for about 8 to 10 people at lunchtime. And about 15, 20 of us came to see Shri Mataji. It was about 11:30 or 12, and we came to meet her. And after our work was done, we were taking leave of Shri Mataji, and Shri Mataji said, why don't you have your why don't you all have your lunch here? So we told her, no, Shri Mataji, it's all right. We've had our lunch and all that. We didn't want to inconvenience the family of that. But Shri Mataji insisted that we stay on, and she told Mrs. Jalan to serve all of us. Okay, so she had prepared for about 10 people, and we were about 20 guests who had just arrived. So there must have been about 30 of them. So Mrs. Jalan, she didn't know what to do. So in the kitchen, she prayed to Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, you are Shri Annapurna herself, the goddess who feeds the whole world. So please look after this. And then she started serving. There was enough food for all of us, and still it was left over. And in the subsequent days, maybe another 40, 50 people must have visited Shri Mataji during the various days, and she served the same aloo palak to all of them. So maybe in all about 80 or 100 people must have eaten of this food.
Wow.
And then after Shri Mataji had gone, she didn't know what to do with the food and offered this to the river Ganga because it was such a holy food, but it was never getting over.
Wow, beautiful. This reminds me, Prasad, how Sri Krishna wanted to visit Pandavas, and then there was the food was no, I mean sorry, the old Brahmins, they wanted to visit all the Pandavas, and they wanted to have some lunch with them, and but they already finished their lunch, and there was only one rice was left over, and of course Sri Krishna knows what is happening over there, and then he just appears out of blue in front of the Pandavas, right? And then so he eats that one single rice. And then after that, the Brahmins who are on the road, who were so hungry, who really wanted to visit them and have the lunch with the Pandavas, and then suddenly they felt so full. And so it reminds me this story. I mean, I'm sure many of you all know, but this is a wonderful story that how the divine makes satisfied when the right time comes. So you don't need to, once you surrender, right, Prasad Bhaiya?
Very good memory you've got. And then there's also a similar story from the life of Lord Jesus Christ, right? The miracle of loaves and fishes.
Yes.
Yes, you remember where there was a multiplication of them. And again, the whole multitude was fed.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So talking about Lord Jesus Christ, I remember another story, if you'd like to hear. This happened when Shri Mataji was being interviewed in Rome, in a TV studio. I think this must have been the early 80s, maybe 81 or 82. And the interviewer talked to Shri Mataji about the different miracles that had been done by Jesus Christ. And he spoke about how he had transformed water into wine at the wedding of someone. So Shri Mataji said, yes, that's not so difficult. Please get me a glass of water. So, and then when it was brought, Shri Mataji put her finger into the water and she told this person, now taste it. So he tasted it and he said, my God, this is exactly like grape juice. And Shri Mataji said, this is what Lord Jesus Christ had converted. He had transformed water into grape juice.
Mm-hmm.
And continuing the interview further, this man asked Shri Mataji, is it true that there is reincarnation and that we are born again and so on? Shri Mataji said, yes, it's true. It happens. He said, I ask this because many of my friends tell me that my face looks very much like the bust of Julius Caesar, which you find in Rome. So Shri Mataji told him, it's true. You were Julius Caesar in your previous life.
Wow.
Now imagine saying this to an Italian. He could not bear this. He just started jumping up in the studio. Mamma mia, me, Julius Caesar. Just imagine.
Wow.
This is another story.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, so nice. So, Prasad Bhaiya, I know you have many stories about the
Many.
faith and the surrender, but I know that. So, which one would we like to first start? Because let's say first, how you. What is faith for you, and how we during our meditation we try to have this state and with our surrender. First, would you like to say about the surrender? What is the surrender? During our meditation, we try to surrender all the thoughts for all the future and the past worries, memories, and everything. And so, how we achieve that? And then after that, please continue with your story, with your faith story, please.
Faith is something that comes quite easily to us when we have, like, for example, a child, when it's born and when it's growing up, it has complete faith in its parents, which is why it's totally devoid of any worries, because it knows whatever its requirements are there, whatever be its requirements, they will be met, they will be fulfilled by its parents. Like, if it knows that if it's hungry, her mother's its mother is definite to cook something really delicious and feed it at the same time. So it's not in the least bit worried for her food. And so also she needs anything else, maybe some plaything or whatever. She knows her parents are always there. She or he knows that the parents are always there to meet any single requirement. So this faith slowly grows. And when we come to know about the existence of great prophets and masters and gurus, and also God, who is all powerful, for those of us who believe in the existence of God, so we know that God is always looking after us. So the faith slowly starts to grow when we see it working out in our lives. And when we see how Sahaja Yoga is really reality, when we see that everything Shri Mataji has said is starting to come true, then we absolutely start to believe what she says. And this faith helps create this feeling of surrender, meaning I know that Shri Mataji is looking after me every moment, whatever be my needs. So I'm completely surrendered to whichever way she orders my life. So this also brings about the surrender. And this is something that so many prophets and saints and masters have spoken about. Said that these two qualities help reduce our own individual, our own ego as such. Because this ego is something that creates a barrier between us and the person who wants to look after us. For example, if the ego is there, it makes the relationship very difficult between the child and its parents. Right? This is something we are able to appreciate. So also between us and the master. And so Shri Mataji has also taught us many different techniques to slowly start reducing our ego. And she has given us the techniques of shoe beat, she has given us the techniques of foot soaking and everything. And also she has given us beautiful bhajans. You know, the song that we just heard, where we ask for forgiveness and we ask Lord Shiva, who represents the highest absolute spirit, the Paramatma. So we seek oneness with him. So all this feeling of devotion also helps create this surrender, quality of surrender within us, and helps reduce our ego. So I do not know if this answers your question.
Yes, wonderful, wonderful, very well said, Prasad Bhaiya. And since we started with the faith and the surrender, would you like to start with the story about Mexican Sahaja Yogi with her faith? What happened with her?
Sure, I'll come to that. But before that, there's another story which happened in Prague in 1991. So there, Sri Mataji explains about the faith of this lady who had not known of Sri Mataji before. She was not a Sahajogini as such, an elderly lady who had come for the very first time to this public program of Sri Mataji. And her faith in Sri Mataji's powers are very similar to an event in the life of Lord Jesus Christ where he is requested by a Roman commander to cure the slave who is in the family of this Roman commander and who was dying, he was sick. And then he asked Lord Jesus Christ to cure him. And as Christ was starting to get up and accompany him to his house, this Roman commander said, "No, master, you need not come personally. It's enough that you bless him and just say that he'll be cured. I know that he will be cured." So those of you who might remember the story from the life of Jesus Christ, see this parallel story happening in with Sri Mataji. So before that, she will tell us something about Sri Ganesha, who represents the principle of innocence and purity and God as a child. So Sri Ganesha is going to have absolute faith in Sri Mataji, in his mother, the Holy Spirit. And this faith gives tremendous courage and also wisdom to Sri Ganesha. So, Pradyoth, can we listen to this talk of Sri Mataji?
Yeah, I'll just stay on the screen. You're able to see the screen?
Yes, we are.
But in the case of Sri Ganesha, it's the other way around. They say that if you put one bad apple, all the apples get spoiled. But if you put Sri Ganesha among all the bad apples, they'll get all right. Because he's the life giving force. This is one of the greatest qualities, that he knows that he's the source of life and he gives life, he gives Chaitanya. He doesn't think that now, supposing I give Chaitanya, give life to this person, my ego will come up. Very common problem. Mother, I don't want to do it because my ego will come. Everybody is psychoanalyzing themselves. Because this will happen. Baba, you are all realized souls now. You are all saints. The false people are talking so big, and you, the people who have got something, are still thinking, my ego will come up, this will happen. No, no, you have the box. But as you keep it under a measure, as Christ has said, the light will go out. You have to give it to others. You have to open it out. And that is how you will judge your state. What is my state? Let's see. Where am I? That confidence, take it from me, should be with you. All of you have to work out this way. When Mother my Muladhara is got up, how dare anybody catch Muladhara? That's the anger of Sri Ganesh. How dare? How can anybody? What's missing is complete faith in yourself and faith in your mother. In Russia recently, in Prague, there was a lady who was brought on the stage. Very old lady, she couldn't walk. I mean, they just carried her. And she came and sat before me on a chair. She said, I know I'll be cured. I'm in your presence. I know I will be cured. I said, then get up. She got up. Those who were with me in Prague, you can ask them. She came down and she started running. And everybody laughed. but her faith. She was not a Sajogini as such, but she was sure she knew me. And she just started running like that, and everybody started looking at her. Same thing happened in Russia for many people. Very serious diseases. So that one thing is for sure, either you don't know that you are realized source, or else you don't know me. One of the two things. Why was he so obedient to his mother? Why was he? Because that was the wisest thing to do. The one who knows everything is better to be guided by that person. And many a times I have seen people try to do things without telling me important things. They fall into traps. Then they come back to me and I tell them the solution, it works. It's not necessary that you should tell me everything. But when you are in a fix, you can always just go into yourself and ask yourself, what would mother do? You will get the answer. You are at quite a higher state, but still, even if you are on a tree and you are still thinking you are falling down, you are nowhere. Steady yourself. That's what is, we say the Adhishtan of Sri Ganesha, is the steadiness. Steadiness in your achievements of such. Believing in yourself that you have entered into the new world, into the new atmosphere. To work it out, Sri Ganesha is just waiting. But he is not meant for people who have no courage. Such a courageous man who could go and fight with all the devas. Because he knew the Shakti was with him.
So I had happened to mention this story to Pradyoth, who's got an absolutely encyclopedic knowledge of Srimataji's talks. So he was able to immediately get this reference of Srimataji mentioning about this miracle in Prague. And he was also able to locate the video where Srimataji actually makes this miracle happen. I had never seen this before, but I was told this story by Herbert Reininger, who you will see seated to the right of Srimataji on the floor. So there is a lady, and next to her is Herbert, who had come to Brazil in '94, and he told me the story about this lady being cured, just like that. So when I mentioned this to Pradyoth, he managed to locate this video where you will see this miracle actually happening. It's really nice. So some people bring this lady onto the stage, and then Srimati tells her, just get up. And she gets up and starts walking. She had lost the use of her legs for about nearly 6 or 7 years before. Herbert Reininger, who now lives in Pennsylvania, I think, working at Penn State University. So let's see this video, Jyot.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's all right now. Better.
Prasad, I can show you.
I think the video is stuck.
Is the video?
Sorry to interrupt. The video frozen. If you like, I have also same video. I can continue if there is internet problem.
Okay, okay. Why don't you do that?
You mind? Okay, sure. I will do. Thank you.
Maybe internet is slow.
Are you all right now? Are you better?
This lady started running, it seems. She was so happy. She was overjoyed. So she kissed Sri Mataji's hand and thanked her so much. And incidentally, the very next day after this event, which took place in the August of 1991, Sri Mataji was going to Moscow, Russia, where, in fact, in Prague at night, Sri Mataji said, let's see what's happening in Russia. So she asked them to switch the TV to the Russian channel, and it was completely blank. And Shimai said, it's interesting. Let's see what's happening over there. So the next day they arrived in Moscow. There was a coup d'etat in process where they had put Gorbachev on the house arrest, and the chiefs of Air Force, Army, and Navy had taken hold of the government. And then how Shri Mataji defeats this coup, etc. That's another story, wonderful by itself, but I think we'll have to leave that for another day. Now, the next video that you're going to see is about this Mexican lady, how Shri Mataji cures this lady's son. So, shall we watch this now, Pradyoth, please?
Shania, you are going to play this? You will be able to play?
Yes, sure. I will definitely able to play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you playing it from the YouTube?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you can select the subtitle also in case there's a subtitle. English subtitles are available.
Okay, let's see. Sure.
You can go to that wheel, that can you see that settings button there? You can select the English subtitle.
Okay, sure. I will do that.
Next to CC, next to CC, there's a button, the wheel.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't see.
No, you have the play the bottom line. There can you see CC on the video? On the video.
On the video. Okay.
Yes, CC just below. Can you see CC there?
Yes, I do.
Next to that, there's a wheel. Just click the wheel.
Okay. Okay, and then subtitles.
Subtitles on.
And English. Okay, wow, I learned something new.
You can just forward it a little forward. You can come forward and play from the Mexico video.
Okay.
Pradyoth, I think it's.
Is this one?
After that, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Because I'm talking here about the power of love. This all-pervading power is the power of love. It guides you, it looks after you, it cooperates, it coordinates. It is so efficient a government that I don't think we can ever imagine how efficient. And it works just like this. Sometimes it's very amazing. I'll tell you now today a case of a lady, which is a true case. Is she here now? Mexican? No.
She's here.
She might be here. See, there's a lady, you are there, huh? She is a lady here. She was working with the UN, and when I went to New York, she got a realization. And she became a very ardent servant. It rose to that thing which we call Shraddha. Then she wrote to me 3 letters telling me about some disease her son has got, who is only 18 years of age, studying in Harvard University or something. She said, Mother, this disease, some people get it in my family at old age and they die. It's a special Mexican disease. It's a big name as well. See? So, I was thinking what to write to her, and I was just paying attention. And she said, should I bring my child there? What should I do? And all that. And the 4th letter I find that the doctors have said that he's completely cured. There's nothing in it. Just imagine how quick it works. I was amazed. There are so many cases like that, but this is something remarkable. Where in Mexico, I was in Pune, and just see how this Param Chaitanya has done it. How it is kind. It is the power of love of God which looks after us. After all, the one who has created us, the Creator, He's going to look after us, isn't He? But we should have also little attention towards finding out what is the truth. Don't accept anything. You have to find out the truth first of all. And everybody has said that. It is the same thing everybody has said you should know about yourself.
So now this story, similar stories, many Sahajogis might have heard of. Shri Mataji curing so many people, right? So just listening to the story, you might think, well, it's another miracle that Shri Mataji had done. This Shri Mataji spoke about this at the medical conference in early 1997. And the following year, in October of 98, I had to go from Brazil to Mexico for a training in SAP Academy. So when I met this lady, Graciela, and she started telling the story about what happened to her son and how he had been sick and all that. I remembered having heard Shri Mataji speak about this case the previous year. So I told this lady, yes, now I remember. You had written several letters to Shri Mataji, about 3 or 4 letters to her. So where did you send these letters? Did you send it to Kabela, where Shri Mataji had a house, or did you send it to Pratishthan in Pune, where also Shri Mataji used to spend part of the time? So where did you send it? On the face of it, it might look like a very silly question. Excess of details, as Senai might have realized from our talk over the weekend. I really like to get into the details of the story. And then, what Graciela said? She said she had only kept the letters at the altar of Sri Mataji in her house in Mexico. While Sri Mataji in India said that she had received 3 of these letters. Can you believe this story?
Amazing. Oh my goodness. Wow.
That's why I didn't want to tell you the full story on the weekend. Graciela, she put these letters to Sri Mataji at the altar in a house in Mexico. And Sri Mataji, India, she said she had received 3 of these letters, and the 4th one saying that the son was completely cured. So this just goes to show, and this is what I tell people who come to Sahaja Yoga in Brazil, well, starting the seekers, I tell them to take real good care of the photograph, treat it very respectfully and keep it in a nice place, because this helps preserve the energy of the photograph. And this is one of the most precious things that you have. And after that, whatever difficulties we might be having, we can put it Shri Mataji's altar, we can put it at her feet. And this is the surrender that we do. And our faith in her works out the solution that is best for us. It might not always work out in the way that we expect it to or want it to, but whatever is the best for our growth will happen, because Shri Mataji extends all our help so that we can come into this new kingdom, as she mentioned in the Shri Ganesh Puja talk. It's a new kingdom, new area that she's taking us into, where all these powers of God are all the time present, working for our protection. And up to what extent can this power go, we never know. As you will see from the last part of this same video. If you want to continue it,
Yes.
Sanai.
Sure, Prasad, but yeah, before that, I would like to give a little pause. And some of us don't know what is altar. So could you please explain about altar? Maybe they can see, if you are able to see next to me, there is one small altar with me and Shri Mataji's picture with the candle. We always meditate in front of Shri Mataji picture, as Prasad Bhaiya said, is the source of this energy comes and the vibrations comes, and it really helps when we put Shri Mataji's picture. And of course, we use the candle as we talk about in the meetings, because we have 5 elements within us, and one of the element is the fire. The fire element is a distraction. I mean, it destroys, but in Sahaja Yoga, after the self-realization, when we get our self-realization by awakening of Kundalini, the fire element actually purifies. It destroys all the impure things within us, which we which we brought it from our past, maybe from our ego, from our superego, but the fire element, when it connects with the by awakening of Kundalini with the spirit, actually, because all the 5 elements are around the spirit and they start to manifest. So we always use candle and we use always flame. And of course, another thing I would like to say, we take care of Shri Mataji's picture with the rose water. I mean, we just wipe with the rose water, with respectfully, with the nice clean towel, and so that way the vibrations always will be clear and coming to us during our meditation much easier, and of course with respect. So we take care, as Prasad Bhaiya said this way. Prasad Bhaiya, would you like to say anything, or would you like to add anything else before we show the video?
No, that was perfect.
Okay, sure. Then I will start the video now.
So the first thing you should understand, those who have ego, we should not ever subdue to them. Of course, you shouldn't start fighting, but you have faith in yourself that you are people who have got self-realization. You are much more powerful than they are. My powers only work out when you are realized souls. You'll be surprised. They work out many things which may not work out with people with ego. Like the other day I heard from Africa that people become invisible suddenly. There was coup d'etat and the president is Sahaja. He became invisible, nobody could find him. Because they are very much surrendered. They are so much surrendered that they get advantage of my powers. You all should use my powers also of protection. This protection power is very, very strong, especially for people who are very much in Sahaja, who are very much there. So you must have, first of all, complete faith in yourself that you are Sahajogis, but not the ego. Sahajogis means you cannot have ego.
So this is the story of a president of an African country. We've been trying to discover which country it was, but when we are able to locate it, we might be able to share it with you. So what I had heard was the rebel soldiers had entered the palace in order to finish off with this president. And this president saw that, well, his final moments were coming and there was nothing much that he could do. So he sat in his big sofa right in front of the main door and he said, let me now meditate upon Shri Mataji. I mean, let me at least pass the final moments of my life in union, in yoga with the divine. So while he sat there meditating, it seems a few hundred soldiers entered through the door, passed right by beside him, but could not see him at all. And then they went away, and this president was completely saved. Though he had just surrendered himself to Shri Mataji and said, well, now this is my final moments. Wow. So this is
incredible. It is hard to believe, but these are all the real experience that we hear from you, and we of course we hear from the different Sahajikis in different times. It's wonderful to hear, Prasad Bhaiya. It's amazing. It's so nice. I know his time is not enough to listen all the other stories, but would you like to say another small story before we start listening to one by John from Pradyoth Bhaiya?
Okay, sure. I've got a huge list here that I made for you people, but I'll tell you just one of them. Now, this is something that happened in Brazil in 2019. In the north of Brazil, there's a city called Belém, which is the Portuguese name for Bethlehem, right? So we were doing this program. It was a 4-week program. And like always, right after the realization, we told everyone to practice meditation and foot soaking at home without fail. So after 3 weeks, we were asking for their experience. And there was one girl, Frances, her name is. So she said that something interesting had happened to her. She was suffering from lactose intolerance. Now, this is a problem that happens when the body, the pancreas especially, is unable to produce an enzyme called lactase. And because of this, the person is unable to process any milk-based products. So if you want to consume some cheese or ice cream, you need to have a capsule before that gives the body this enzyme, and only then you're able to eat these products. So on this particular day, she went out with her friends, and her friends suggested having some ice cream. Now, she had not brought this medicine with her, but she did not want to play spoil sport, so she agreed with them, and she also joined them in this ice cream, and then came home preparing to suffer from the consequences of this. Now, this particular day, which was just 3 days after she had started meditating and doing foot soak, she found nothing happened to her. So she said this was interesting. So the following day, she repeated with some milk-based product, could have been milk or cheese or whatever, or ice cream. And then again, she found nothing happened. This is after just about 3-4 days of meditating, doing foot soaking. And now the doctors had told her that this was a condition that was incurable. And she had been suffering from this for quite a few years. So, which is why we always insist that people who are starting Sahaja Yoga, they always try and practice all of these techniques at home, especially foot soaking, which is like a daily cleansing of our subtle system. There are so many people who have experienced tremendous improvement in the quality of the sleep and all that, because insomnia is a condition that affects huge numbers of people, especially those involved in the day-to-day turmoil of work, managing home and work, and so many other responsibilities. So that's it. Me, I know time is getting along.
No, Prasad, but we need to invite you every Tuesday. But today is our Tuesday for you. I know Wednesday. We need to invite you for every Wednesday morning, every week, to finish all the stories, right?
Yeah, until I run out of my stories. Yeah, sure.
It's been so great. Of course, we love to have you again with all these beautiful which are remaining. All those stories we would like to hear from you again in different time. Whenever you are available, please come again. And so please keep in touch. It's so a pleasure. It's a great, great pleasure to listen all the stories. And I know, I'm sure some of us, they would like to ask you, or they would like to say something to you. This time, we didn't give a pause, but I will hand over to them if they would like to say anything to you or ask any question to you, Prasad Bhaiya. Okay, my dears, now your turn. Thank you for waiting, but it was wonderful to listen all those stories as you heard it. And if you would like to say anything to Prasad Bhaiya, please do it. Now your turn.
I realize it must be pretty late for all of you. It's also a weekday. So if you want, we can even do this the next time you meet, next week.
Okay. Yes, next week we will have Mario Prasad from Argentina. I mean, he's
Oh
Argentinian.
yes, he also has some nice stories, Marika.
His whole name,
Yes,
we are full with the other Sajikis, but definitely I will catch you in your free time.
yes, sure.
Yes, yeah. But okay, so maybe we can take one question or two questions for you. I'm sure maybe if anyone would like to say anything to you, to Prasad, please do it. And I see many expression from here. I mean, from the chat group. I don't know if you could able to read them. I will read for you very quickly. So one is amazing, Jeshimataji. I think it was definitely for the story. Beautiful experience. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, Jeshimataji. Thanks for amazing stories of miracles. Thank you, Prasad ji, for sharing these wonderful stories. And another one, wonderful stories and wonderful meditation. Thank you. And another one, amazing stories, Prasad Bhaiya. Enjoyed every bit of the stories. Thanks for sharing these gems. And another one, thank you for sharing these wonderful stories. Thank you very much for sharing your stories. And this is the last one. So, okay, and how about we will listen one bhajan from Pradyoth Bhaiya, and then we will end the program. Of course, please, if anyone would like to, anyone who have to leave, please do not worry, and no worries, and just we will listen one bhajan and we will say goodbye to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, Prasad Bhaiya, now your turn.
All right. So there's one, because today has been a very joyous session in terms of listening to these beautiful stories. And ultimately, the aim of Sahaja, as Shumataji always says, is that we should be able to feel the joy, tremendous joy that comes. So there's a beautiful song, a very fast bhajan called Abira Gulal. And this is written by a saint called as Choka Mela. It's a very interesting person. I mean, he was there in the 14th century, 13th, 14th century. Very humble person. And in India, we used to have a horrible system called as caste system, where we had four castes, Brahmins and Kshatriyas, and he was belonging to the lowest of them. And at that, it's called as a Shudra, and he was a laborer, and he had too much of bhakti to the god. So he used to come to a temple called Pandharpur, and but they didn't allow him inside the temple. So he used to stay outside and used to sing the songs, very very heartfelt songs, very humble. And the whole thing about his music and this one is that even in spite of all of that, he was always in joy. It never bothered him that he was not being able to come into the temple. So there is a story that one day he invites Sri Krishna. The Pandharpur is Sri Krishna's temple, and Lord comes, and then he says, I would like to come to your temple. And he takes him into the temple, and the temple is locked in the night. Next day morning, they find that he's there inside the temple, and they throw him out, saying that you're a magician and all of that. There's another story where he prays in the house, and one day he's seen scolding his wife, and saying he was very angry with her. So they say, why are you angry with her? He says, that she has dropped the curd on yogurt on the photograph. And then they say, you're mad, it's not like that, it's not happening. He says, no, it has fallen on Sri Krishna. And when they open the temple, they find that the curd has fallen on his clothes. So the bhakti, the heartfelt is so important, and the joy that he feels, right? So this is a beautiful song. I hope you enjoy it. It is set in a rag called Rag Bhupali. Bhupali is also a very beautiful raga for the Agnya Chakra, and it opens the Agnya very nicely. And the song, of course, full of humility, because humility is very important for opening the Agnya. I will share the meaning of this, because it's very beautiful. It's in Marathi. Abir, Abir Gulal, Abir Gulal, Abir Gulal, Udhalit Rang, Udhalit Rang, Udhalit Rang, Udhalit Rang, Ranga, Abir Gulal, Udhalit Rang. नाथा गरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग अबीरा गुलाल अबीरा गुलाल अबीरा गुलाल उधळीत रंग अबीरा गुलाल उधळीत रंग नाथा गरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग नाथा गरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग अबीरा गुलाल अबीरा गुलाल अबीरा गुलाल उधळीत रंग 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 अबीरा गुलाल उधळीत रंग नाथा गरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग नाथा गरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग उंबड़िया से कैसे शिवू उंबड़िया से कैसे शिवू उंबड़िया से कैसे शिवू आम्ही जातिहीन उंबड़िया से कैसे शिवू उंबड़िया से कैसे शिवू आम्ही जातिहीन रूप तुझे कैसे पाहूं रूप तुझे कैसे पाहूं रूप तुझे कैसे पाहूं त्यात आम्ही दीन त्यात आम्ही दीन त्यात आम्ही दीन पाय ऋषी होबू दंग 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 गाऊ मी अभंग गाऊ मी अभंग नाथा गरी नाथा गरी नाथा गरी नाथा गरी नाथा गरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग नाथा गरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग अबीरा गुलाल अबीरा गुलाल अबीरा गुलाल उधळीत रंग 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 अबीरा गुलाल उधळीत रंग नाथा गरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग नाथा गरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग వంటిగా ఆమె వాళ్ళ వంటి నాచు వాళ్ళ వంటిగా వాళ్ళ వంటిగా నాచు వాళ్ళ వంటిగా ఆమె వాళ్ళ వంటి నాచు వాళ్ళ వంటిగా ఆమె వాళ్ళ వంటి నాచు చంద్రబాగే చాపాణನೆ చంద్రబాగే చాపాణನೆ చంద్రబాగే చాపాణನೆ చంద్రబాగే చాపాణನೆ अंग अंग न्याऊ अंग अंग न्याऊ अंग अंग न्याऊ विठ्ठलाचे नाम घेता 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 गावुमी हो भूमी निसंग हो भूमी निसंग नाथागरी 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 नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग नाथागरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग आषाढी कार्तिकी आषाढी कार्तिकी भक्त जन येती आषाढी कार्तिकी आषाढी कार्तिकी भक्त जन येती आषाढी कार्तिकी भक्त जन येती पंढरीच्या वाळवंटी संत गोळा होती पंढरीच्या वाळवंटी संत गोळा होती चोकामणे नाम घेता 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 भक्ती होती दंग भक्ती होती दंग नाथागरी 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 नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग नाथागरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग नाथागरी नाचे माझा सखा पांडुरंग सखा पांडुरंग सखा पांडुरंग सखा पांडुरंग Thank you.
Was wonderful. Pradyoth Bhaiya, my goodness, you have an amazing voice, really amazing voice. And of course, when the realized souls, when they sing, we feel the joy of spirit in our heart. And I was meditating with this bhajan. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I see there is one comment from Sandeep. Awesome. And he says, yeah. So, Pradyoth Bhaiya, I know time is right now over here, 11 o'clock in the night. How about we will listen another bhajan for another program, if you don't mind. So we will listen. I think you are mute, Prasad Bhaiya.
I'm sorry, it has taken a little longer than usual.
Please, no worries, please. Whoever had to leave, I mean, of course, they had to leave. We started with the 50 people, but now we have now 33 people over here. But I really want to thank you, everyone, for all your time that you stayed with us. And it is incredible tonight that we listened all the beautiful stories. We had a wonderful meditation, wonderful music, as we always have every Tuesday, for us Tuesday. And this is a really remarkable night for all of us. I know that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Prasad, can we
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pradyoth. It really, I mean, it was so much bhakti that when you sang the Shiva Stotra, it really felt so much cool vibrations in my hands and on Sahasrara. There's so much bhakti and so much like it brought us into the depth, you know.
Yeah.
And also Prasad Bhaya's stories were just memorable, like what you can say, treasure, you know. Just want to keep them. Such a wonderful way he expresses all the stories and he tells. There's so much positivity coming out, you know. So I hope everybody can just absorb this and we all can go deeper all together collectively into this new dimension which Shumati has talked about, Turiya, the state of Turiya, the fourth dimension, right? So we all go together and we can bring as many people who are seeking this truth with us. Yeah, thank you so much for joining today. Really, really joyful night, Shumati ji.
Yes, Mataji.
Jai Shri Mat.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much for the wonderful meditation. Thank you for the music. That's wonderful. It's amazing. Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Namaste. Apreciación.
Okay, so I see last comments. And thank you so much, Pradyoth, Anna, for wonderful bhajan. Anna means big brother, right? Pradyoth Bhaiya? Yeah, which is Telugu, right? So, who said this? From Preeti and Rajeshwari, Jeshumataji, and how joyous you are, dear. Okay. So thank you so much for your musical meditation. Very nice. Thank you, Prasad, and the music, great. And Sumita, thank you so much for this wonderful experience. Thank you so much, Prasad Bhaiya and Pradyoth Bhaiya. And the last one, thanks Bhaiya for giving us so much joy. Another new one came just now. Thanks a million for the wonderful stories and melodious music. Jai Shumataji. So, wow, it's wonderful. It's so nice to have you both together. And again, thanks a lot. And it's a really great pleasure, great privilege to have you all both. And we would love to have you again whenever time comes, whenever both you are available. And we love to have you again. And please take care of yourself and lots of love to you all from all of us.
Thank you. Wonderful week to all of you. Hope you managed to get some sound sleep tonight and get ready for the next day.
Yes.
Very late.
Right. Every Tuesday, I hear from other yogis, new yogis. Also, it gives such a tremendous vibrations for everyone, and they are so overjoyful, and so they sleep. They don't. Some of them, including me and my husband, we don't sleep so quickly, and we are all overjoyed and vibrations. But next day, even we sleep like for 5 hours, so we still wake up so in present and with the joy of the So you created, and as other Sahajis who joins this meeting every Tuesday for us, they create the same vibration, same joy, and so we really love doing this program together collectively.
It's a wonderful work you're doing. Really a privilege to participate in this.
It's our privilege. Yeah, thank you again. Jai Shri Mataji. And lots of love to you both again. Please give our love and regards to everyone, to all your families, and please be safe in India. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jai Shri Mataji. Okay, my dears, and again, we had a wonderful, incredible night with the two Sahaj yogis, with their experience, with their music, and of course, the vibration and the divine love. And that tonight they brought it. And so it was wonderful to integrate with them. And please remember, tomorrow and the following days, we will have again collective meditation at the same time and with the same link. And I will see you all next week on Tuesday. Another Sahaj yogi who will be joining from India himself. He is actually from Argentina. I want to give a little tip. And so next week he will be joining to us. Lots of love to you all. Have a wonderful night. And please take care of yourself. Jai Shri Mataji.